Sadly, I didn't see the movie again. Because I'm wondering if I did put it on the wall 2019 because like the first half of the movie frustrated me. And then the second half was like, okay, here we go. And some really great Spidey moments, especially that mid-credit scene. But I'm just kind of like, if I were to see it again, would I want to rip that poster off the favorite wall? I don't know. Guess we'll see. Probably not going to go pay to see it again. I'll rent it or something like that, and then we'll see what happens. But I wonder. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here, bringing you a spoiler review of Spider-Man Far From Home, which I still don't like that title. I don't really like Homecoming's title either, but I think that sounds better. But Far From Home just sounds like a Disney movie about a lost puppy. If you haven't watched my original review, it's up on my channel. Go ahead and check it out. I'm just going to go over some spoiler points. Nothing like too crazy. I'm not going to go through the movie from start to finish. I just wanted to start off really by saying, why the fuck was this action sequence where Spidey was kicking a bunch of bad guys' ass removed from the movie? What the fuck? I'm curious from the director or from anybody going like, why? There's like a whole sequence that you see in the trailer where Spidey is like in this, I don't know, this restaurant or whatever in the Iron Spidey suit, and he takes out a bunch of people, talks to the cops, and they say, are you going to be the new Iron Man? He's like, how can I when I'm doing your guys' job? Nice little fucking stab. It was pretty funny. I thought that was kind of like a nice little jab at the cops and stuff like that. But it was not in the movie at all. A full-on Spidey scene where he takes out bad guys. The first half an hour needed this. I guess it'll be on the Blu-ray or extended cut. I don't know. It's going to be... I just was like, wow, what the hell? But the way this movie starts out, with that scene that they actually added to the Avengers Endgame release, re-release, where you have Nick Fury and Maria Hill show up to this place. I think it was like in Mexico somewhere, and then all of a sudden Mysterio shows up, how we see him in that trailer without his... Well, he has his helmet. Then it goes away. And then he goes... I forgot exactly what he says, and he does this thing because there's the elementals. I feel like I always Speaking of Mysterio, I mean, like I said, I mean, the first spoiler thing, but it wasn't really for anybody who knows who Mysterio is. We knew that he was going to end up being a bad guy. Now, the way that they did it, when Peter and him, Quentin, are at a bar, of course, Peter's just sipping on the water, but, and Peter, I did like the fact that Peter was really struggling because he has this huge crush on MJ and wants to impress her and wants to kiss her and tell her how he feels, and he wants to be on this class trip. He wants to leave it. It's almost like you almost understand it because anybody who goes, okay, now the burden's on me. Now the burden's on me, and you always got the shadow looming over. I mean, you almost can respect it. Like, I know a lot of people hate the fact that he's Iron Man Jr. and nobody's talking about Uncle Ben, but I do like the aspect of him growing and just taking on that burden, and it really does show here. Sure, they could have went like a little more in depth, but when the reveal, when obviously Peter has the Edith glasses, that's the new AI, the Edith glasses that he got handed that were from, of course, Stark. He ends up giving them to Mysterio, to Quentin, who apparently was working with Tony Stark, and they do a little flashback when he did that whole barf thing, the barf demonstration about the augmented reality. They show him he was actually there at that presentation in Civil War. I'm sure it wasn't originally like that, but they found a way to do it. So he's pissed, and they actually brought back one of the dudes from Iron Man 1, which I thought was cool, the guy that Jeff Bridges' character screamed at, Tony Stark, would you do this in a cave? That guy. They brought back that guy, so that guy was also pissed at Tony Stark. Just people that were pissed at Tony Stark, and this whole thing was made up. The elementals were not even real, and I'm wondering if that's going to piss off some people, because that's similar to what they did in Iron Man 3, because, what's his nuts? Wasn't real. But once that twist happens, I was totally digging it, because then you got to see the illusions and the fact that there was like these drones that were creating the illusions, and that's how it's like you see the elementals just kind of doing their thing, but it was the drones that were behind the whole projection that were causing the destruction. So I thought that was pretty cool. And the fact that the where was I going with this? Now there's a scene, the scene that I talked about in my film review, when I said like that was a really fucking excellent Spidey scene. Well, first off, you had Mysterio fucking with Peter, and they had this whole scene that was almost Doctor Strange-ish, but to me it was almost a little bit better. Petey goes on like a little fucking acid trip, and I thought that was way cool, and the way that it was shot and everything, it was really badass. And then when it came towards the end, when Peter was like, okay, I know that these are all just drones, he knew what was going on, and he was taking out the drones. God, he was doing some really great Spidey stuff, but it was when they were on that bridge, and he had to use his, well, I'm not even going to say Peter Tingle. That was all hopefully a big joke, and hopefully the next one they just call it the Spidey sense. But when he uses the Spidey sense to, because he can't see, all of a sudden he's stuck in this crazy illusion again, but he's all, I'm going to use my spider sense to just start wiping out drones just to get to Quentin. Fucking badass. I mean, he's just doing his thing. He's flipping out. He's flipping around and just fucking taking out these drones using his Spidey sense because he's stuck in illusion. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I smiled ear to ear on that part because I was like, yes, thank you. Now to that mid-credit scene. Holy shit, guys. Holy shit. By the way, the post-credit scene where turns out that most of the time, Nick Fury and Maria Hill were Skrulls. Like, what's his name from fucking Captain Marvel? Ended up being him. I was kind of like, I didn't really... I was like, cool, that's an interesting twist, but But the mid-credit scene felt so... Come on, guys. You can't tell me you didn't get some Raimi vibes. Okay? Because you had some Spider-Man web-slinging through New York City. Like, big New York. Not just small Brooklyn or whatever. Big New York. And then he had MJ with him because he wanted to, like, take her on a ride. So that was similar, even though, like, it's whatever. It almost like somebody else shot this whole sequence. Then all of a sudden, on, like, a billboard, you have, like, the reveal that Mysterio is still fucking with Peter because he made a video where it made it seem like Peter just killed him in cold blood. And it was shown, and then, BAM! J.K. Simmons back as J. Jonah fucking Jameson. Fuck yeah! Oh, I did the exact same thing and went, oh my god, they brought him back, and I started, the whole theater lit up. Lit up! I mean, he was acting like Alex Jones, which is cool, whatever, but apparently that's been shown in the newer books, and that was also shown in the video game, so nobody should be griping about that, and I know people still are. But my god, the implications that this has on the sequel or any, whatever the fuck. Now, it was revealed that Spider-Man was Peter Parker. On the big screen. I mean, the kid's not out of high school yet, and they're going to go down this road where Spider-Man's a wanted fucking murderer now, and they know who he is? Come on. That could get pretty exciting. I think they should hire a different director for the third one. I didn't read the whole fucking interview, but I just heard that John Watts said he backed himself into a corner with that mid-credit scene, and I went, then fucking don't do the next one, dude, if you can't handle it. I'm excited, though. And that really, I mean, like I said, it was just everything. It almost felt Raimi-ish. Because he was web-slinging through New York, and then he had MJ holding on to him, took her for the ride, and then all of a sudden that happened, and you brought back J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. I mean, come on! I'm excited. I'm really excited for the next one. That's what really, I mean, it pushed me to the point where I was like, okay, I enjoyed this movie more than I was frustrated. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much it. And like I said, the post-credit scene, whatever. I don't really care. But yeah, that's where I was really excited about it. So there you go, guys. That's my little spoiler review, spoiler talk thing right there. Let me know your thoughts about it down below. What do you think about all the spoiler stuff I just talked about? Hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to my channel. It's filmjunkie.com for all my content. Follow me on the Sock Meds right over there. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Patreon if you want to help out. And then, of course, shirts down below. All right, guys? Peter Tingle. Talk to you later.